Hello, my name is Hayden Wayne. This is the Healing Channel, Episode 4. Today, I will read an epic poem from the sky above, we dogs below, in the blink of a lifetime. Hello, my name is Hayden Wayne. I'm going to read to you from my latest collection of poetry, The Sky Above, We Dogs Below, in the Blink of a Lifetime. Within this realm, the totality of totality, where everything that was is, and will be is. A finite state ever expanding, subsequently cooling after its initiating spark, coalescing into larger forms, creating more space for things to ignite, ever unfolding imaginations, ever growing complexities, randomly expanding exponentially, only to contract and begin again. This static perfection where time is itself constant, frozen in its continual movement, an all-encompassing unit of consciousness. Nature as information, as is demonstrated in DNA on a quantum level. Nanotechnological skills geometrically progressed. Telepathic transportability within the effortlessness, ease of thought. Time travel within the superspace of self. In a given moment. Creativity perpetually regenerating, head and heart integration, all in everything. A simultaneous micro-macrocosm, rapidly mutating within a metastability, as if nothing more than a dream. What is this tonality, this resonance without and within? How it moves around and through, this unbearable lightness of being, this unquenchable thirst to know, even before I am aware of the questions. And what will I do with the answers? Will I complacently sit stagnant and ask no more? Or synergistically explode with curiosity, expanding geometrically with the universe, exponentially smarter, yet ignorant of what is surely constant, the exploration of infinite untapped mind, of which I vibrate. It is here, ever growing, of which I must be an active part, a symbiotic evolutional collaboration beyond comprehension, where the solutions beget more investigation. What is the key of life? Am I ambidextrous to know its total polyphony, whether harmonious or discordant? This ever-changing music, this endless song of which I must croon. I am the composer, as I was composed, every note, every space between, every harmonic, every silence, as I sing with astral wind. Still, so still amongst the stars, trans-dimensional travel in constant metamorphosis. A pulse of light, a wave to surf, galactic explorations within the petri dish of time. So many shards of experience, fractal symmetry of our own reflection, the voice within the wilderness, the howl of countless millennia, sensory memory genetically engraved deep within the psyche. So many lifetimes, so many manifestations, endless possibilities within a singularity. Inner and outer space as I travel in the now, past the orbiting future. This is not an illusion, understanding or lack of. For the ultimate reality is the ever-unfolding non-reality, more real, more tangible. For to question is the verb of life, disrupting the fabric of space-time as it reformulates perspective, rewriting the history of origin in order for reincarnation to perpetuate itself. The modulation within the vibration of space, long intervals of hallucination, life force, the neurochemical spectrum of all oscillation, everything that exists, total recall of what has passed and is first to come, spread across the universe. Eye, Eshe, Eye. I am who I am. Awakening this spark, first breath, consciousness itself, whole, beyond comprehension, cruising all of space-time, integrating so many possible futures past, this tone, the vibration of life, the molecular genesis of thought. There is an accountability, a balance, recognition, the key to weightlessness, timelessness, discovery of the self within cosmic DNA, mitochondrion Y atom, creation, with its code for anyone and everything, the life quest to fulfill of what you wish to be, as it has been written, as it first will become. Is there an edge, an end to the soul, an all-encompassing membrane of which all is contained? This androgyny, blessed be they, Shabbat, between the setting sun that never sets, the rising sun that never ascends, light, constant, all flowing, pure, where all things are possible. Shabbos, every moment, the true mitzvah. Are our lives a soliton, a singular unit in one event, a micro-specific within the macro universe? Dreams, astral travel on the quantum mechanical super macro physical complete sensory immersion within the continuum of 11-dimensional hyperspace. Mind time, the time of mind, the mind of time, for time is only time when it moves, and mind is only mind when it is active. Examining our own organism, how we think and why, reflecting the dynamics of our own genetic code, the unity of ourselves in the real world, as subjective as that may be perceived. For what is real? Other than what we create it to be, reflections of vibration, constant resonance, pulsing between our ears. We are the receiver of all that is possible. Every hypothetical to first become conscious of. What frequency in order to contemplate, and then refine our tuning in order to allow the mechanism its highest evolved state to fulfill the need at hand. It is something we have always known, but may have forgotten. Being of the mind, a universe of being. As I look out, looking in, such past voyages I now will first begin, as they conclude an all-directional, multi-dimensional point of clarity to guide me. This noise engulfing what will prove to be as it always has been. How many times have I made this journey, unfolding myself within this ever-shrinking, expanding space? I feel the pull within me. Transgenetic light speed metamorphosis, rearranging chromosomal synapses, connecting me. Intergalactic integration beyond determinism, across the divide of memory. Exploration towards the light. Neurochemical plasticity beyond the subatomic particle level. Oscillating, the melody of life performing itself. This resonance, my worth, this vibrating force, alive. There is this disk that turns on the axis of my being. toroidal winds, astral dust, ellipsing plasma flows, swells to ride, lapping at my shore. Petals of a flower emanating from the sun, its center. Balance, a maze to solve. These eyes to look into, this lens that magnifies the journey I've come to see. Life's spectrum in which I live. The pull of gravity separating myself from this huckster world. Used car salesman of broken dreams, sunrise promises of dawns to come when darkest night clings its shroud of hopelessness without the stars to guide any escape. Out of tune, this melody rubs upon my ears, abrasive ruminations tear at my heart, and yet I sail with outstretched wings to rise above such counterpoint. My angelic aspirations of what is first to come, this harmony resonates with creation, for flight would not be possible without such song. This clock that beats within, this endless time I first will live so many times before, between the pulsation as old as it is always new, beyond my momentary lack of incomprehension of what I soon enough will understand. And so, with every turn I turn, guided by the stars, suspended reflections of the self, immaculate conception, as I look out into myself. Nothing. The word being more active than what it describes. No adjective to understand the depth of its void. Inanimate, unaware, unfeeling. No conclusion, for imagination requires movement. A monolithic gel, endless, no particular shape, uniform in its stillness, without light, without sound, without smell, without direction. Nothing. A sneeze, a sudden inhalation exploding, brusque expansion tearing the tranquility, shredding the monolithic vacuum, spewing strings. This pulse, a concussive push of ether forcing itself outward, a ripple rolling the smoothness, an oscillation heating the malleable stillness, percolating a sudden awakening, the creep of glow into the infinite darkness, a resonance increasing with speed as the swell unfolds itself, setting in motion the widening curve of its vibration. Sound as light heating the tranquility, agitating an awareness as it congeals, pushing further outward, friction, growing, modulations, geometrically progressed, coalescing altered states. The membrane of consciousness. I am center of the universe. The natural law of mind, balanced between the waves of gravity, observing other worlds within every vibration, integrating disparate levels of evolution, listening to the voice fluctuate the common integer of which we are the equation. Synergy. I reach within my full potential, telepathic, telekinetic powers of levitation, physical and spirit healing. So many keys to choose from, each specific, unique to the task, requiring the ability to morph with all matter, regardless of density, animated state, atomic structure, resonance, all variances of light, shift, dancing around me. How do I capture our common song? Hypothesis. Are our dreams nothing more than hallucinations, or the instigation of our consciousness at another point in time? What is the lowest common denominator of all matter? The essence of being one with the totality of totality. Is it simply things exist or don't? Or is there another state they reside in? Yes, no, on, off, ones, zeros, positive, negative, up, down, charm, strange, something in between. Are there more than 4 letters to the DNA code? Nucleotides abbreviated with the letters A, U, G, and C, beyond the design instructions to build animate life forms in the rest of the world of matter? Is there a common denominator between inanimate and animate forms of matter? If we can now interpret the neural synapses that occur during dreams and recreate the images through the code that seem to be seen with our eyes, is thought itself something that can be also recreated through code? If time is an illusion, nothing more than slices of where we have already been, then are we to assume we are everywhere at the same time? And if this continual placement of ourselves is part of the active mind of totality, then we should be able to manifest and subsequently integrate with anything and everything at any given moment. Thus, if everything is fixed in time and state, it is we who move through the individual subjective being of our consciousness. Anything we put our mind to can manifest into physical, concrete reality. Assuming anything and everything is ever concrete beyond the hallucinations of ourselves. It seems there is a mathematical equation to link this phenomena together, time and matter as one instruction directing us into one seamless continuum. Thus, telepathic and telekinetic powers are simply intuitive and part of our nature. considering the long history of our explorations on Earth, it seems an obvious evolution for there to soon be interplanetary explorations, followed by our intergalactic. The technology required in order to reduce the length of time travel will inevitably overlap with our ability to telepathically communicate with each other. The equation to solve is time itself, and what it truly is made up of, beyond the linear perspective that it exists only when we move from point to point. Is emotion unique to only ourselves? Other species are known to mate for life, but do they love in the manner we do? Beyond the fight or flight impulse, we have all witnessed how other animals protect their young, and specifically how mothers sometimes have to protect their offspring from fathers. Is this love? Will this specific ability be what separates us from artificial intelligence? And if this is the case, why? It seems the grand design of the universe, in all of its complexity, managed to form without this emotion. Or did it? Imagine sitting at the prow of a large moving force, as if on the tip of a bowsprit, so far in front you are not aware of what is behind, other than the power of the thrust, a continuum life force, toroidal sensory intuitiveness, moving so quickly around and through, there is only time for awe. No editorial, total immersion, being there, as if gravity pulls the soul ever deeper, suspended, one with the experience, every synaptic pulse folding into the essence as it races conscious through your veins. My beating heart, primordial, this rhythm of creation, celestial orbs within my universe, my skin, the outer reaches of space, and I, just a nanospeck within the totality of it all, searching the inner cosmos of my emotions. Binary, you and I, orbiting the other, growing synergy, the pull of attraction, heat exchange, quasar. You, a universe, I, a universe, we, a multiverse, within a sea of multiverses. Breath, astral wind, swells of time rolling the curve, flexing space, exciting a glimmer of light out of the darkness. What are these thoughts resonating within? A snowflake in an ocean of snow, a grain of sand on the beach of infinity, a drop of water in the sea of time, the rings of trees telling life stories, deep-rooted with heliotropic leaves. Am I in my own key, within the music of creation, one note oscillating, part of a symphonic expression, a tone poem, vast orchestration, internal, external, eternal, a momentary, nano-specific, beyond comprehension. This pull, light speed, this grail, spiritual longing, this need, unquenchable thirst to know everything, humble before my ignorance, shy of my imperfections, a willing student before the ultimate teacher, my desire to integrate, be one with the light. Such grace, this ever-expanding awareness, seamless sensory immersion within timeless oneness. This is the singularity, our birth origin, completion, the never-ending journey frozen within its continual, ever-expanding point before time began to move. And as I look out into the cosmos, a wing of snow geese fly overhead. A fox crosses, sits, then frolics off. A coyote trots by. All the while cardinals, red-headed, red-tufted, red-bellied, hairy and downy woodpeckers, house-finch and sparrow, black-capped chickadees, dark-eyed junco, mourning doves, starling, wren, and tufted titmouse feed around me. All the while my beloved Olivia is at my side. So glorious. Etude. Shall I confustigate you with my artisanal metacognition, though I choose to be Kazan, as I munge on a trance, for I am an ultra-crepidarian. The vacuum of silence, how loud it is, such expanses between my thoughts, choreographed from stillness, a dance, the ballet of ideas, improvised, my mind poised to pirouette. There's a war coming. It's going to be between those who remain human and the automatons. There's another war we are already in. Corporate greed versus the inalienable human right to live with dignity. We, the citizens of Earth, and all who reside within the biosphere. Synergy versus short-sighted profiteering. The introduction of artificial intelligence. The end of humanity. In our darkest moments, within our solitude, the crushing reality of our material station in life, the fragility of aging, our seeming insignificance, just remember this. Such ephemeral gifts we have. Literacy, the ability to think, the desire to learn, our passion to expand our consciousness, never to be bored. Stealth, the ultimate freedom. This string, a lifetime suspended within the animation of hypothesis, constructs, variances, a spectrum of possibilities between shades of dark and light. For ultimately, it is we who must choose the outcome. One definition of the word criminal: the conscious willingness not to work. Another: the conscious willingness not to think. True poverty: the inability to love. Floating affixed to a point in time, riding a swell of cosmic breath measured between the stars, one thought, motionless, complete. There is no greater high than creativity. There is no greater purpose than to bring a conception to its fruition. There is no greater need than to strive for perfection. For within our inevitable failure, within this pursuit, we reach further than we have ever reached before. We, stardust, as much each other as we are ourselves, sense memory before Genesis, in the frictionless vacuum of space, lost within each other's eyes. I know you, a projection of myself, time travelers reincarnating towards the ultimate consummation. And as I taste you, the spice of solar winds reminds us throughout intergalactic intimacy our desire for climax, creation's eruption, our progeny, endless possibilities within our embrace. Such rapture this bond, our breathing intercourse, suspended in a kiss. Between the furthest outer reaches of inner space, a cohesive membrane, a realm, ultimate understanding. It is the randomness of our being aware that separates us from the oneness of this spirit force of life. The only thing perpetual, proving its intelligent design beyond our comprehension. When asking why, we are that much closer to living within this essence, the glue of cosmic understanding. If everything exists, then it is we, when choosing not to engage, who decidedly allow the perversity of ignorance to grow out of balance. Beyond genetic memory, Beyond the mainframe we are born with, every living creature, a blank sheet, immediately imprinted, environmental stimulus, continual upload, programmed, incentive, discouragement, self-esteem, shame, empathy, indifference, love, hate, courage, fear, creating a pathology, self-motivation, or lack of. Cosmic purpose, the result of 13 billion years. That we are here discussing plausibility clearly demonstrates the desire to evolve. Rather than a big bang with its background microwave radiation in the outer reaches, our ability to measure its speed of expansion, thus, in reverse, be able to deduce the moment of creation. I think trying to answer why and how did we come out of nothing, even if we can assume when, recognizing from our beginning stardust is in everything, it might be better for us to accept we have always been. And despite however active the totality of our ever-expanding universe, it is static in its completeness, continuously alive, conscious. How do we weigh a thought? Certainly we can evaluate the content, its depth. But what is thought? It sparks into being, initiates its expansion, hypothesizes itself. But is it any more or less tangible than everything we now accept to be in our universe? Is what we call solid, solid? Or simply endless strings, filaments of our imagination, various vibrations creating a variety of states of being? When we dream, our senses flood with the same kinetic resonance as when we are awake. Is this nothing more than a hallucination? Could it be the reason we perceive tangibility is because of a collective redundancy, thus a neurochemical telepathic synergy making certain things appear more real than others? Is this just psychobabble? Am I psychotic and delusional? What is real? When an animated body dies, it decays, changing its state of being, and more or less disappears. But what of its spirit, the animation that made it grow, sustain its existence? Is that essence different from thought? It seems the question is, why do things manifest themselves the way they do? What is it about the consciousness of living cells that causes the variation of life forms? Is an emotional urge such as love, fear, hate, any more or less important or powerful than what causes a cell to divide and multiply? Life continues to express itself as demonstrated by its passion to persist. After the asteroid hit the Yucatan Peninsula, the life of dinosaurs evaporated. Mammalian life forms then evolved to this present day. What is this passion? Is it the need to satiate curiosity? What is curiosity? Obviously, it moves, has continual vitality. In the blink of an eye, though at the moment beyond our grasp, in the next few decades we will learn how to become interplanetary, How much longer until we become intergalactic? Physicists believe our universe will slow its expansion, cool, eventually die. The only escape from such an end, a wormhole to another universe. If this is so, then countless infinite universes simultaneously exist in various states of resonance, animated vigor, within a stasis that always was, is, and will always be. Thus, as complex and vast, none the less a singularity, continually morphing, as does the neuroplasticity of our brain. Conscious. If we are not conscious, nothing exists. If consciousness is the singularity of the multiverse, we should be able to integrate and disintegrate, decompose and reconstitute matter telepathically through a common denominator, change the resonance, and thus reconfigure the physical properties, allowing transportability regardless of size and weight. What is the oscillating frequency that allows this? How do we transmit such an oscillation? Are we capable as individuals, or do we need a group to synergistically amplify and focus such a frequency to levitate matter? Lasers concentrate waves of light, particular oscillated frequency, cutting metal like butter. Thus, it seems we need to develop the ability to isolate specific brain waves, learn how to focus, amplify intensity through neurocognitive power. Science fiction? Maybe. But compared to the creation of DNA out of the ether of astral dust, insignificant. Flights of fancy, conjecture, open mind, specific to this resolve, increasing attraction more than ever opportunities, a panoply of potential to exploit, or not. My active state of being towards telepathic and telekinetic higher consciousness. A willingness to explore the edges, building upon what has already been accomplished. 2.5 billion years of biological evolution, coming face to face with what has evolved so many light years away, but simultaneously here through another dimension. Transformation of endless time in an instant, paying attention to a new way to be, a new language to communicate. Group mind. Beyond ignorance that breeds fear. A reinvestigation of past history, knowledge systems as they first are about to unfold, an increase in cognitive capability. The visualization of meaning. Sit close to me. Let me feel your heat. Integrate our essences as we sail on solar winds. Count the stars, points of knowledge light years ago, waiting our discovery, directing celestial navigation towards greater wisdom in the blink of a lifetime. Thank you very much.